live. What is going on out there in the land of the unfree America? Forgive me for my tardiness. I had a little bit of technical things I was doing, chords. I just got back from Utah. Forgive me. What is going on, Team DLZ? Can you put Team DLZ in the chat? And that's you and that's me. Thank you so much for coming. Welcome to another rendition of Delete Lawz. My name is ChilleDeCastro. I will be your host. I am an autodidactic constitutional law scholar, meaning I learned everything just reading the internet and learning and watching videos on YouTube, and I just studied the hell out of this stuff. And today we're going to break down Joshua Grover's guilty verdict in Utah. He was found guilty of resisting, and he was found guilty of failure to ID, which I talked a little bit about on a live stream the other day. Who is here today? Who is in the chat? Who's here? Who is here? I see Chevy. What's up with the Playboy? Chevy is in the chat. What's up, Playboy? Mr. Jones is in the chat. BS Unleashed. Rosemary Hope is in the chat. Team DLZ rolling through the chat if I was going to talk like a copper. And as you guys know, I was in jail last year for 4 months, and Dan Fizzle knows this. My position on police has slightly changed. I think that there has to be at least, there's some good cops. There has to be some, because there was good jail guards. Age Go is here. Who else is here? BS Unleashed. Is Danelle Brown in here? I did not see her. I see Jody. Do I see Everett Sanchez? I see What's the Matter You? What is going on, Playboy? You know what I got to do? I got to get this phone up real quick, and then we're going to watch we're going to do a breakdown of Joshua Grover's video is what we're actually going to do. And I'm going to show you exactly why Joshua Grover was found guilty. And I'm going to play you actually a juror that I interviewed after the trial. So, okay, cool. Now I got this you guys can see, and now we can't. Hey, thank you so much for the super chat. God bless you. Chevy! Oh, what? Connect your encoder. I don't want to do that. You guys there we go. Hopefully you still something. I had a little technical glitcher right there. A little technical glitcher. Oh, do me a favor, you guys. Hit the screen. Hit the like button. If you would, please hit the like button. That would be absolutely awesome. If you could hit the like button, I would really appreciate that by double tapping on the screen or hitting the thumbs up on your computer right below the video. That hits the like button. And what I have right now, I think I almost have this video uploaded of the witness. But first, we got to do a full breakdown here of Josh Grover's video. And we're not going to do the whole thing, but I'm going to show you the parts where the jury found him guilty. And I find myself walking around shaking my head. I find myself walking around going like this, because Joshua Grover's arrest is such a tragedy. Well, I'm going to show you. I want to break it down and show you exactly what happened to Josh and how the judicial system is really a scam in a lot of ways. And all right, let's just get right to it.
For a company, yes or no?
I'll get my fat head out of the way now.
Complainant advising he just confronted someone that was behind their home taking pictures of their house. Was taking pictures of the rear. He's now currently on the east side of the home, described as a 35-year-old white male. Last seen wearing a dark shirt, hat, using a large camera with a tripod. Negative weapon scene. When the complainant spoke to him, the photographer said that the owner told him to take the pictures.
Okay, bring your hands behind your back for me. What did I do? Bring your hands behind your back. What did I do? Let's get out here. What did I do?
Did you see that right there? That was resisting arrest.
You're not following our orders.
Why do I have to follow your orders?
Why should be a dumb? Just follow the police. Haven't broken this. You want the lawsuit? It'll go nowhere. You're factual. Not facts.
No, they are facts. You were trying to be a little more aggressive than you needed to be for no reason. There was no resistance, no nothing.
There was no reason for you to not follow our orders, was there? Other than being.
Other than I'm a free man in America that I don't have to listen to what another man tells me to do unless I've broken the law.
Are you f***ing me? You want to go down this road?
I just want to know.
I'm going to go get a statement from them about
I just want to know what crime I'm being detained for. So taking photos in public is illegal?
No.
So taking photos in public is illegal?
No.
That's why we don't know if there's a crime yet. That's why we don't know if there's a crime yet. That's why we don't know if there's a crime yet. We'll find out who you are.
Okay, so it's,
we'll find out who you are.
okay, so it's, am I going to go to jail if I don't?
Identify yourself?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
That's an important question right there. We're going to come back to it.
My name's Josh.
You don't think I'm trained on First Amendment audits and all that other bullshit?
You are.
Yeah, I am.
You guys are making that up. Nobody said that. I was over there when he was investigating and talking to them.
Okay,
I got
cool.
it on camera. Nobody said
Perfect.
that. You guys are making that up.
Whatever false narratives you want to create in your goofy head.
Go ahead and try to belittle me.
Legally, he is where he's supposed to be. He's hired to do a job, and these guys know he's here to do a job because they're the ones that hire him. And he's walking around doing his job, and not good practice, but it is legal.
So where was he at? In the back?
Yeah, in the backyard.
In the back where that whole common area sits. And she goes, well, then I guess I'm going to have to get a new photographer. And it sucks because I've been using it for this long. I was like, well, your photographer's not.
There's a car we're trying to get stopped. Where are you at?
I'm actually in North Auckland, but I can head that way.
You might be good then.
So we're going to jump ahead because Josh has a lot to say here, and we talked to a few people. And then right here, this is where the beginning of the body camera actually starts. And I'm going to stop it specifically where and how Joshua Grover got convicted when he did absolutely no crime. He did not violate any other person or the law, and I'm going to stop it there, okay? So give me 1 second.
Hey, do you want... It's 97, correct? That you work for? 97?
Okay, so this is Deputy Boots. He doesn't wear his body camera.
In the end unit down there. So I think it's 97, the end unit down there.
I think I'm being illegally detained.
Will you go get the real estate
taking
agent's
photos in public.
information real fast?
Yeah. Yep.
I'm being illegally detained.
So Joshua is under the idea that he's being illegally detained. This is very important. When Officer Boots steps onto the scene, Officer Boots, because he got a phone call, he says he has reasonable articulable suspicion. Now, when Boots tells Joshua that he has reasonable articulable suspicion because of a phone call he got about someone being a voyeur and taking pictures inside of their apartment, Boots, because of Terry versus Ohio, can legally detain Josh, including in torture cuffs, in a cage, on his belly, on his knees. So we have to know that. This is where we have to educate each other and learn together, because we have to beat them at their own game. And if you mess up any of the process in understanding how to deal with these people, you could end up being arrested and charged and convicted, just like Josh got convicted of doing nothing. Watch. Boots says, I'm here because of reasonable, articulable suspicion. If you live in a stop and ID state, you need to pay very close attention to what you're going to learn.
I just quickly want to describe what actually took place between me and the complainant. While I was shooting the common grass area in the back, I saw her step out onto her back patio. I quickly said, "Hi, do you mind if I take a photo real fast?" She ignored me, got a dirty look on her face, and started walking towards me faster. Halfway across the grass, she yells at me, "What are you taking photos for?" I replied to her, "It's for my job, it's for real estate." She continues walking towards me and gets to where I am, and then says, "Well, who are you taking photos for?" I pointed in the direction of the unit that I was photographing, and I told her it's for those owners.
Okay, Now, watch this. This is if there was a probable cause hearing, which there's none available in the justice court. If you have a justice court like there's one in Clark County, Nevada, there's a justice court in Morgan, Utah. A justice court is not a district court. They live by different rules. You don't get a probable cause hearing or an evidentiary hearing at a justice court because after this moment, it would be an illegal detainment. Well, no, it wouldn't. It wouldn't be an illegal detainment. And I'll tell you why. Because of him saying I have reasonable articulable suspicion for voyeurism. So even right here where Josh is cleared, he's not cleared because of the phone call to the police that said there's a voyeur, someone taking pictures inside of my window. Remember that. Why did Josh lose? The cop had reasonable articulable suspicion because a Karen called. The Karen went to court and she testified against Josh, by the way.
I took my picture and walked away. She followed me, stopped me again, and said, well, what's their names then? I replied to her, ma'am, I don't give away people's personal information. Trying to maintain professionalism.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. Sorry to bug you. We're investigating this minor incident down the street here. There's somebody out taking photos.
Yeah, I talked to the other officer. But
oh, did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
He has my ID right now, so I was coming out.
Oh, perfect. Do you have the... Are you working through a realtor right now?
Yeah, you want the number?
Yeah, if you have the name and number, that would be great. We just want to make sure he's legitimate.
Yes. Out to you if you want.
Yeah, that'd be great.
801.
So he's confirming that Josh is supposed to be there. The real estate agent is also going to confirm that Josh is supposed to be there.
You know what realty company she's with?
Let's see if I got that. Yep.
Okay. So, but to your knowledge, was he supposed to be here to take photos, or?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yep. And he was asked to take photos of the common area.
Okay.
Yeah. We left the house.
Legally detained by partner over there.
All right. I don't know. I'm just jumping in the middle of this, so I don't know what all's going on.
If there was a crime here to investigate, I would accept an investigative detention. Sure. But there is nothing to investigate. It's pretty plain and clear. It's photos.
Well, I'm going to go touch base with him, and then we'll go from there, okay?
Do it.
But remember, Boots is going to argue that he's not investigating a trespass call. He's investigating a phone call for voyeurism. So Boots still has reasonable articulable suspicion. And with reasonable articulable suspicion comes the part of Terry versus Ohio called detainment. Detainment equals you go in torture cuffs. Put it in the comment section for me. Torture cuffs are always torture. Always.
Quickly, because I'm wanting this detention to be over.
So he's saying, I want this to be over. But wait, there's more. Chevy. Everybody say hello to my friend Chevy in the chat. What's up, Playboy?
It's not right. He's also trying to force me to ID and everything else. I want to keep my rights intact.
Okay, he does not have to ID, and this is, we're going to learn this in a minute. We're going to talk about highball in great detail.
Understand.
I mean, you guys swore to defend.
All right, man.
Rights.
I don't need you to educate me. I'm here to help out, okay?
I'm just asking who's like.
Okay, just let us do our job.
One here
Deputy Green here, he was allegedly fired. He resigned from the Utah Highway Patrol for being part of a scandal about DUIs. And it wasn't admitted in court, and the judge wouldn't let it in court.
Illegally detained.
Let us do our job, and we'll get you on your way. Just
the guy
relax.
talking.
Don't escalate this. Keep it simple.
You're not sitting, I'm gonna relax.
14, where you at?
Who's over here wasting my time?
They've already confirmed he's there.
The realtor.
So Josh is under the idea that he's being detained for potentially trespassing. He knows that the homeowner cleared him of that. So in Josh's head, he can invoke his Fifth Amendment right because there's no reasonable articulable suspicion. But Josh is wrong. And that's not his fault. The reasonable articulable suspicion is now the Karen who called and said there's someone taking pictures inside of my home. Now it's about voyeurism, and this is the guy right here, Boots, who's the one who creates the reasonable articulable suspicion based on voyeurism. And someone said, that's hearsay, that's not legal. The 1972 case, 4 years after Terry versus Ohio, states that a phone call does give a cop a right to have reasonable articulable suspicion if the source of the phone call has any credibility. The Karen who called, at the end of it all, she says to the cops, you guys are my go-to. So it's a credible source to them because Bailey Turner has called the cops a lot, allegedly, right? Because if you're my go-to, then to the cops when Bailey Turner calls, that's a reliable, credible source. 1972, Adams versus Williams allows the cops to have reasonable articulable suspicion based on a phone call.
That's the name of the realty company.
So notice the notepad in his left hand. The notes Joshua is taking here are about trespass, that there's no probable cause.
My phone number.
Perfect. Okay, I'm going to go grab my phone.
Okay, cool.
Get my notepad.
Oh, thanks.
Here's your torture cuffs. For the glory of Christ! What is going on, Playboy? Good to see you. Gloria's here. Cope Dog and Dog is in the house. Audrey's here.
Somewhere. I might. No, you're good. I'm sure I do if I didn't give it back. For some reason, I thought I'd give it back to you. Maybe I didn't.
I have your ID down here in my car.
Oh, sweet.
If you want to come grab it.
I'd love to grab that.
You hear all the clicking, the metal, the cuffs? And by the way, I met all these cops. I sat and shot the shit with all these cops all the day of the trial. The cops here that are doing this to Joshua Grover, I hung out with them all day. I made friends with them. You shook their hands when they won the case. Because, okay, this is an important factor right here. Josh, who's been pacing around here for the past 20, 30 minutes, is now going to approach Officer Boots and say, hey, am I still being detained or am I free to go?
Stand up here.
Did you hear what Boots said? Stand behind my car. Listen to what he says. Listen very carefully.
Stand up here.
Step on this side of my car, according to the transcription here.
I'm not going to ID.
Okay, stand up here. You're required to follow our instructions.
I'm not. Why am I
Sir?
detained?
That was used against him when he said, you have to follow our instructions, and he said, I'm not. That was used against him, just so you know. And the jury and the judge and the DA, it bared weight with them. The DA used this as a talking point where he said, you have to listen to my instructions. He said, I'm not.
Required to follow our instructions.
I'm not. Why?
You're required to follow our instructions. I'm not. The DA was animated when he said to the jury, he was told to follow instructions, and the defendant said, I'm not. He was hostile and aggressive when he said it. I'll get the full video from the court.
Sir, don't just stand up here. It's for our safety and for your safety.
I'll stand over here.
Okay. Bring your hands behind your back.
Right there. Now he's going to be detained in torture cuffs. Watch the interaction here. This is very important. This moment right here gets Josh convicted of resisting. Right here, he gets convicted of resisting. I'm going to roll it back 3 seconds here.
Why am I detained? Don't just stand up here. It's for our safety.
It's for our safety. And by the way, the jury, the judge, they all have heavy weight on the fact that officer safety is paramount. It's the number one thing.
Required to follow our instructions.
You're required to follow instructions. Now, I want to point out something here. Josh is holding in his hand right here his $7,000 camera. He's been a photographer for the past 12 years. He makes a good living. He's the top real estate photographer in Salt Lake City, Utah. Josh is. His client testified for him that he's an amazing contractor to contract, and that single mothers have called him back to shoot them and their children because Josh makes them feel comfortable. He's holding his livelihood in his hands. We all saw James Freeman get arrested, and James Freeman was primarily concerned about, hey, don't hurt my camera. Remember that? Put a 1 in the chat if you remember that. Hey, thanks for the super chat, Rising Tides. Chille, I've been on full time to raise back the money Trump cut from my funding. Oh, no. I didn't abandon you. We'll catch up this week or on the phone. Hello, Team DLZ. I'm happy to have catched the live stream. Hey, Lou, what's going on, brother? Good to see you, man. Thank you, Rising Tides. It's worth another $10 to say officer safety, and safety is just cowardice. Rising Tides. Everybody say hello to my friend, Rising Tides. Thank you so much, man. Thanks for the support. So back to the lesson at hand. God bless you, Rising Tides. You guys, thank you for the support in the super chats. Double tap, hit the like, comment, and share. That's how you can help the most. I really appreciate you guys.
I'm not. Why am I detained? Don't just stand up here. It's for our safety and for your safety. I'll stand over here. Okay. Bring your hands behind your back for me.
When Josh disagreed or didn't know which way to stand, that right there, the jury, the judge, the prosecutor, all agreed that it was perfectly fine to detain him. And here's where he gets charged. Remember the camera in his hand? Remember the camera in his hand? Yes, I got you, Daniel.
What did I do? Bring your hands behind your back. What did I do? Let's get out here.
Okay, he has his camera in his right hand. The $7,000 camera that I just stopped. Hold on, Daniel. The $7,000 camera, the green has his arm. He's got one on the wrist, one on the elbow. He's twisting his elbow, putting his arm behind his back. Josh, with his left hand, has the $7,000 camera in his hand and his livelihood. Watch.
What did I do? You're not following our orders.
So he's got the camera in the front. Josh has got the camera in the front, right? And Deputy Green is trying to get that left hand. Where that elbow bends right there is where Josh has the camera in front of his body.
Do I have to follow your orders?
Okay, so now Green gets aggressive because he says, why do I have to follow your orders? Daniel Welch, hold on. Let me check. So
let me put the camera up here so it doesn't.
So then when Deputy Green reaches over to grab the left hand that Josh has his camera in, Josh takes his right hand, grabs his camera, and gives Green his left hand. Then you just heard Boots walk up and say, hey, let me take the camera.
Just stand up here.
Hey, let me take the camera.
For your safety. I'll stand over here. Okay. Bring your hands behind your back for me. What did I do? Bring your hands behind your back. What did I do? Let's get out here. What did I do? You're not following our orders.
Okay, this gets him convicted of resisting. Him taking the camera and juggling the camera with his left arm and his right arm before the cop comes up and says, hey, let me take the camera. Then he volunteers both of his wrists. I should play it in slow motion so you guys can really see it, because he gives up his hand, but he has to get rid of his camera first.
Why do I have to follow your orders?
And then Josh breaks it here. I wish I could. I need to get just the raw stuff here. And this is like a long break too.
What?
Okay, so now the cop is kind of tweaking because he can't just throw the guy around like he's a rag doll, but that's what he wants to do.
Let me put the camera up here so it doesn't get dropped.
Somebody film this?
Let me put the camera up here so it doesn't get dropped. And now, what does Josh do? He puts his hand behind his back. He volunteers it.
I'm not going to resist.
That right there got him convicted of resisting arrest. Him pulling his arm away to hold his camera in front of his body. Any act of resisting arrest. Any act where the cop cannot detain you equals a conviction of resisting.
I'm not going to resist. But why?
Well, right now he's being detained for officer safety and because of the reasonable articulable suspicion of the voyeurism.
Do I have a lesson to learn or something?
There are no lessons to learn at our
We
age,
gave you lawful order and you're refusing to comply.
I told you I didn't want you sitting on my car right out there when I'm sitting there trying to do a few things to figure out who you are.
What?
So he said that it was officer safety when Josh approached his car. When Josh walked up to his car, Mr. Bones, he said that was officer safety.
What have I done? What law have I broken?
Possibly voyeurism. That's what we're trying to figure out.
What?
It's important that you understand this. In a stop and ID state, if a cop says he is investigating you and he has reasonable articulable suspicion, you have to tell him your first name and last name. And so it's in the trifold here that if you get pulled over without probable cause, you don't have to ID if the cop wants to ID the passenger. And the trifold is not incorrect right there. It's in the middle of your trifold. You do not have to ID with reasonable articulable suspicion. If you're the passenger in the car, though, and the cop says, I have reasonable articulable suspicion that you weren't wearing your seatbelt, and the cop says to you that, you then have to tell the cop your first name and last name. Because Joshua didn't, and he's in Utah in a stop and ID state, he was convicted of failing to ID. This is the reason I'm doing the live stream. And I'm going to do another version of it on the wall, and I'm going to teach this to as many people as I can. If you're in the 44% of states that are stop and ID states, and the cop can articulate the reasonable articulable suspicion he has against you, which includes a telephone call. Hey, thanks Daniel Welch for the super chat. Thanks Lou Rising Tides. I appreciate the super chat. God bless you, man. Thank you. If the cop says, I have reasonable articulable suspicion that you weren't wearing your seatbelt, or we got a phone call, or I have reasonable articulable suspicion that you were jaywalking, or whatever he can say he has reasonable articulable suspicion for, if you're in a stop and ID state, you have to tell him your first name and last name. It's not good news, right? Put a 1 in the chat if that's not good news. Put a 1 in the chat if that is not good news, what I'm telling you now. Put a 1 in the chat if you didn't know that. No, put a 2 in the chat if you didn't know that. Because now we've seen the parts that we need to see for this particular part of this. But now I want to get to the juror who we interviewed after the trial. After the trial, the juror stuck around and I got to interview her. Put a 2 in the chat if you didn't know that. Put a 2 in the chat if you live in a stop and ID state. You see, you need to tell your friends. It just chaps my backside to tell you this terrible news. He was convicted. It's a misdemeanor. It carries a year in jail as a sentencing punishment. Up to a year in jail in Utah for failing to ID. Failing to ID does not mean your driver's license. Failing to ID means the cop says I have reasonable articulable suspicion that Travel Jack robbed the store here yesterday. You have to tell him your first name and last name. It's not good news. Heibel versus Nevada's 6th Judicial Court absolutely screws us all. It screws us all. It essentially wipes away your Fifth Amendment right to remain silent when the cops are questioning you. So and by the way, nobody has seen this yet.
Thank you.
So I was with Jose from Utah Cop Watch. Shout out to Jose if he's watching. I've not been watching the chat. I've just kind of been focused on teaching you guys what I've learned.
Just did a great job.
Yeah, I hated the way it was worded.
Now this hardworking man is going to go
I know,
to jail.
don't. I won't even...
I'm sorry. I'm Chille from Delete Lawz.
Hi.
What's your name?
Breck Galbraith, yeah.
So what happened in there? What was the jury room like?
Oh, it was just like coming down to the actual like, because we didn't have all the context, right? All they asked us to do was read, did he hit these markers? Did he ever refuse?
To give ID.
Which was easy, because he did. I wouldn't have known that's a law, but that's not what we were asked to
It's because of
decide.
Heibel, 2004 case of Heibel versus Nevada.
Okay,
6th
so
District.
I didn't know that. And
Right.
also on the jury is a former police, so she's like, you should know that. I'm like, I didn't, and I'm a...
One of the jurors was a former officer. The lawyers believed that having a former officer who was retired, her husband an officer, her son an officer, the lawyers believed that putting a cop on the jury was going to be advantageous to them, because at the justice court, you're not allowed a probable cause hearing or an evidentiary hearing. So the cops believed, the lawyers believed, and they were super lawyers. Mary Cooperon is a super lawyer. They believed that the cop on the jury would favor Josh, because the cop would tell the others that I don't get that logic. It's one of the big things I saw that I did not agree with. I would not have a cop on my jury. She just said, and the cop was a retired detective.
Well read, like... I
It's
wouldn't
a
know
new
that.
Case of Heibel versus Nevada.
Okay,
6th
so
District.
I didn't know that. And
Right.
also on the jury is a former police, so she's like...
Also on the jury was a former police officer, and she said...
should know that. I'm like, I didn't. And
You should know that you have to you have to tell the cop your first name and last name upon request if they have reasonable articulable suspicion. The cop was all the way on the prosecutor's side.
well read, like... I
It's
wouldn't
a
know
new
that.
thing. It's only 20 years old.
I would tell my children, remain silent. Is what I would always err on.
Right.
She would tell her kids to remain silent when being questioned by cops. She believed Josh had the right to remain silent. The DA said he didn't, so she convicted him.
Err on remaining silent.
So I feel like it's a responsibility of the cops to give more information, and I personally feel like a lot of his what looks like defiance was questions.
Yeah.
Of nerves and curiosity of like what is actually going on here, and questions, but they didn't ask us how we felt about any of that.
Was there any of the four of you in the jury, were any of you like not guilty? And now you have
Oh
to
yeah,
change
that's
my
why we
mind?
took forever, because
Right.
like we were so split. Because at first we all thought like if he was resisting arrest, he was not guilty. But that's not what the charge said. When you read it, we had to read over and over. It said, did he ever refuse an action that a law officer required of him?
And the refusing of the action is when he was juggling his $7,000 camera, and when he pulled his arm away to take the camera to give the cop his left arm that he was tugging on, that was refusing an action of a law officer. Listen to her definition again.
What the charge said when you read it, we had to read over and over. It said, did he ever refuse an action that a law officer required of him?
Right.
And that we had to say yes, even though,
right.
you know, when it comes down to like certain verbiage.
What's going on, Mary?
You know,
I'm just listening.
That's Mary Cooperon there. She didn't want to do an on-camera interview, and maybe she'll see this, maybe she won't. Mary, I vehemently disagreed with putting a cop on the 4-person jury. I vehemently disagreed with it, but it's not my place to tell her that at that time. I couldn't believe it, to be honest with you. Not only is she a cop or a detective retired, her husband's a retired cop, her son's a current cop. Anything the guy doesn't do to comply to cops, the cop's going to say the guy's guilty.
If his character was on trial or like what he actually did was on trial, there's nothing he did that was worth any of our time here, right?
Would it have made a difference if he had testified?
Yeah. I would like a little context of why he was nervous to give his identity.
Right.
Because that would have been nice, for
Right.
sure.
Or going back to what you said when you teach your kids, just don't say anything. Don't
Yeah, because
talk.
you can implicate yourself so easy accidentally. Right? Or you can get in situations that are not, so.
Mary, do you have any questions you want me to ask?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
I would have.
Nice to see you, Mary.
I get that it's so
Take
tricky
care. Be careful.
for a defendant to take the stand, but it would have been nice because it's like, well, obviously there's a reason. Like you just like who's obviously
So
there's a reason.
but it might have made a difference to you if you'd taken the stand and said, "Hey,
absolutely.
I was taught to plead the fifth and not say anything, so I wasn't going to say anything."
Because that's what I teach my children.
Right.
And my children look like everybody they live around too, and I still teach them that.
The thing is that some of this, like right here, if we would have said, "I don't answer questions," and I plead the fifth and stuff like that, they will still charge him for the same charges because he didn't give his ID.
That's right.
I know. So the charge.
Remember, you don't have to give ID, but you have to tell the cop your first and last name if he even says that he has reasonable articulable suspicion, which blows open the door on so many stop and ID states against us.
Charges were really like, wasn't,
vague. And it was broadly written where if you just deny giving your name, then you're guilty.
Exactly.
If you just
like, did we think he was guilty of really harming or doing anything? No.
What about the resisting? How'd you guys see that?
No, if it was about resisting arrest, we said no. He did not. But it said, did he ever refuse an act in detainment that an officer required of him when he said...
Did he ever refuse an act of detainment? Ever refuse an act? Tower Time is here with the super chat. We don't stop. Team DLZ, bless y'all. God bless you, man. God bless you. Thank you so much. Right on. Thanks for the super chat. BZ Watchdog, been a member for almost 2 years. How do they know the action was required? Not clarify your question, BZ. You guys consider becoming a channel member. Consider joining Team DLZ. What we do specifically is we help people who've been cheated and their rights have been violated. It's been on camera by either a cop or a government official. And that's who we help. And we're going to help Josh all the way through this.
Moved to the front of the car and he said, I won't.
Oh.
That was it. That moment on... But
do you see
said,
that?
Did he ever
refuse an act? And when Josh said, move to the front of the car, and he said, I'm not, that convicted him, Martin, in her eyes.
Refuse an act in detainment that an officer required of him when he said, move to the front of the car, and he said, I won't.
Oh.
That was it. That moment on the video. That was it.
Him saying, I won't. Even if you're a First Amendment auditor, even if you're me, or Here's the Deal, or James Freeman, or FAPA, or I Am God, or any of these people, if the copper says that you have to go here and you just simply take a step back and catch that on film, but you don't say, I'm not going to, then it can't be used against you. Here's the deals in the chat, everybody. What's up, Playboy? What's up, Playboy?
How did you feel after you knew there was going to be a guilty verdict?
Heartbroken. I hate, because it's like, I mean, I don't want to say too much, but I was irritated there was a phone call to the police in the first place.
Yes.
That's how I felt.
Yes, we call her Karen.
I was just like, it was daylight. You were in your house with your husband.
Door was
locked. He told you he was doing his job, and he did not continue to bother you.
Yeah, he walked away.
So
from her.
why did you call the cops?
Her husband was home, and she called the cops because the guy was outside with a camera. She showed up to court and cried on the stand.
He had kept, maybe, but I feel like he was just like, come on. I'm just doing my job.
I don't know if you guys watched the video when she tells the cops, you guys are my go-to.
You guys are my go-to.
You guys are my go-to.
It was the very last clip.
So pretty much it's like she calls them all the time.
I get it. I know. I wish it was our job in there to be like, how do we feel?
Right.
But they said, answer this question.
And so you're going just by the words on the page.
Over and over. We went over it. Over and over. Because it was down to the...
And there's a cop on the jury. And the cop is telling the jurors, hey, it says this on the page. You know, we got to convict him. I don't know why they put a cop who was retired on the jury. If they don't see the light, an ex-cop is the most bitter, like they put coffee grounds in their gums kind of person. A lot of them. Are there some good ones out there? Sure. There's a great white buffalo out there as well.
Wordage, did he ever refuse something the officer required? And the officer said, I require you to do this. And he said, I won't comply. And we're like, oh, he did it himself.
I'm gonna teach this. Do you have any questions?
No.
Thank you.
I mean, thanks for talking. I do, I didn't want you to think
Are you here by yourself? Do you have a car?
Yeah.
That's your car then?
The white one.
I don't want to leave you stand outside by yourself.
I'm gonna.
So, the flags in the background here, it should almost be flown at half mast for the tragedy of convicting this guy for doing nothing wrong. The process. He didn't put his hand behind his back. When they said, go stand over there, he said, I'm not. And they convicted him over that for resisting. Like, you're not allowed to have any sort. If the government tells you what to do, you have to do what the government says now. And if you don't do it now, as jump how high, then you're guilty of resisting arrest because you didn't do it how we told you to do it. This just, I mean, what in God's green earth? So the next thing I'm going to teach on this is going to be, I'm going to teach on the wall here. I'm going to let this video finish and then we'll cap it off here because there's a little bit more of this interview. I'm going to teach each and every one of these case laws to how we got to the point that they created a way that they can get your name out of you. Because you're supposed to have a Fifth Amendment right not to ever self-incriminate. But let's say, for example, that you know you have a warrant for your arrest. By giving your first and last name, that incriminates you. But they figured out a way to go around it through Hybel. I'll give you guys the full breakdown on Hybel. On the wall, I'm going to teach it.
Give you his name, his YouTube channel, so you can watch the full video.
What is his YouTube channel?
Twilight Real Estate Photography.
Martin, you can email me, man. They won't let you spam, brother.
Twilight Real Estate.
Oh, I can remember that.
When you watch the whole video, you're going to feel really bad.
Don't, guys.
They cheated him.
I know.
It was the procedure the cops were doing. And
plus,
and
like,
for
I don't know how close you are to her, but she has none of the right questions.
I know she pissed me off this time.
She put a cop on the jury.
Maybe she...
I'm not, but Boots, for example, he's a hammer, everything's a nail. So they get to the scene, and you're gonna call Boots is gonna call him a criminal.
And you know that
his energy was.
You know when she was gonna question Green about his other job at the UHP.
Yeah.
And they cut him.
That's Jose from Utah Cop Watch right there.
They cut her off.
Yeah. He was fired.
He was fired from his other UHP for lying on police reports.
Yeah. Yeah, nothing surprises me that way. I mean, like...
So this is his YouTube channel right here.
Twilight Real Estate Photographer.
Okay?
Yeah,
and then that's all the videos. This is the very first one. This is the full video of what happened. And this is his work.
There was never a part where I thought he did anything that required any of this. It's just that they asked us to answer a specific question.
It's crazy. I'm going to get my bar card because I can do this job.
You know,
right? That's I was sitting there too, like, come on, I can do better than this.
The lady,
and I don't even know.
I can do this job. I'm watching it enough now. I've lost enough now.
I'm sure.
Sheriff and
I was so annoyed because I was just like...
I won both of my motions last week, but this is a long way to go.
Like, your husband was home? It's day, and what?
Gary Bryant's in the chat. What's up, Playboy? Everybody say hello to my friend Gary Bryant. Gary Bryant 65. What's up?
Why did you call Fox?
Why
are you wasting anyone's time?
Your husband's home. There's nothing that I can do.
And some of them were like, well, she was scared. And I'm just like, what has happened to her in her life that made her scared of this? Nothing. The news? I don't know.
If it would have been different if he was constantly like the same
That's what I'm
stuff
saying.
to her,
If
but
he
he walked away.
If he had kept or something,
yeah, but he walked away.
I still wouldn't have. I wouldn't have felt threatened. But
controlling everybody and everything around you. I have to control everything. I have to be in control of your outside of my house. I have to control you, control your dog, control your kids. I have to control what you do. I have to control everything about you. And that's the kind of person.
Kevin Gordon,
And I
you guys still
like,
there? Give me a 5x5 if you guys can hear me okay. Give me a 5x5 if you guys can hear me okay. Team DLZ, put it in the chat. Put it in the chat, Team DLZ. Let's get it rolling. So anyway, you heard it. We kind of shoot the shit here for a minute. There's a few videos that my editor sent me that he wants me to cover for him for shorts. So I'm going to cover those with you guys. We're going to get into it. And a little fair warning. Some of these videos are pretty tough because we're going to be covering a few things here that have to do with beginning and end, the beginning and end of you at the hands of police, which is absolutely terrifying. And so, but I think that we have to show it, and hopefully it's not too graphic, because we are on the...
Tonight we have new details on the investigation.
So I believe that this first video we're going to watch right here, this is about Ahmaud Arbery. Maybe you guys remember Ahmaud Arbery. This says, video shows Catskill police running after stun gun causes man to burst into flames. Oh wait, this isn't Ahmaud Arbery. I apologize. So this video right here, a guy douses himself with hand sanitizer, and then the genius cops decide that they're going to shoot him with a taser. What do you think's going to happen? What do you think's going to happen when they shoot a guy who's doused himself with hand sanitizer? put your answer in the chat and I'll read it.
To a man who burst into flames after hit with a stun gun by Catskill police.
News 10 ABC's Michaela Singleton sharing now the input from the police training expert and the lawyer representing.
Notice they call in the police training expert. You got to bring in the police training expert. You have to. Because everybody knows that when the cops kill somebody or maim them or ruin them, you got to bring in an expert from the cops to explain it away to us, to explain what our lying eyes were telling us.
The late man's family.
Chilling video shows the moment officers in Catskill moved to taser an agitated man in their front lobby and the spark that caused him to burst into flames. The Attorney General's office releasing this video Friday of 29-year-old Jason Jones, who died December 15th as a result of injuries from this incident back in October. An attorney for the family says this fuels their case against Catskill police. They say officers never should have used their stun guns after Jones doused himself in hand sanitizer.
The taser is 50,000 volts of electricity. It's well known.
Stop right there. Why are we being shot with 50,000 volts of electricity? We're now seeing there are new forms of detainment where there's I can't remember the name of it, but they shoot a band out and it wraps around the legs. So you don't have to kill people. Where are the net guns? With all the billions of dollars we put in policing, we still don't have a net gun like we saw in Scooby-Doo? Where's the Scooby-Doo net gun? Can someone please answer me that question?
Police are trained not to use it in that circumstance, and Jason predictably ignited as a result of that.
However, former police officer and professor...
Did you listen to it? They're trained not to use the stun gun when someone puts hand sanitizer all over them. They shot him with 50,000 volts, and he burst into flames.
Training instructor John Cooney says this is an unusual case, not usually covered in the textbooks.
As a rule, we're talking about gasoline, we're talking about natural gas environments, we're talking about environments that are fairly common. I think it's fair to say in most taser trainings, we don't talk about sanitizer as being that obvious flammable liquid.
Jones can be seen.
There's a reason why they bring in a professional cop to explain away that we talk about gas, we talk about butane, but we never talked about hand sanitizer. Okay, let's do it. Blast him with 50,000 volts when he puts some chemical all over his body. Did you ever talk about that?
Seen in the video unarmed, though distressed, when he first encountered police. Cooney says use of force training also tells officers to respond based on perceived threat.
From the first second to the last frame of the...
Where does that come from, anybody? Where does it come from? That officers should respond to the threat of the perceived threat?
First encountered police. Cooney says use of force training also tells officers to respond based on perceived threat.
Based on perceived threat. And to be honest with you, the way this guy was walking in right there, I mean, I happen to have done wrestling and fighting my entire life, but right here, when this guy walked up to me like that, I'd go hands-on immediately. I wouldn't rely on a taser. I would rather wrap him up myself and know that he's going to be restrained, especially if there's another guy standing next to me. If he even knows this much, two of us can take this guy down in easy, 5-10 seconds.
The first second to the last frame of the video, we see that he's agitated. He's very quick with his movements. One thing I noticed specifically was a constant clenching and unclenching of his fingers into fists.
The Jones family's lawyer also says they're most distressed watching the officers run from Jason after he went up in flames.
The police, rather than help him, ran out of the room.
They're you see, holy snarling snake shit. The glow, the color glow on the cops is this guy burning alive. Wow. Do you see that? Do you see how their uniforms have gone to blue to a kind of a pink haze? Their uniforms are not pink. That's the reflection of the fire and Jason burning alive. And what do the cops do? What do you guys think they're going to do?
Flames.
The police, rather than help him, ran out of the room, shut the door behind them, and let Jason burn.
To immediately respond to jump on top of, to help roll over the individual, that's a very individual decision, and it's not
Of course, the police expert is going to explain away why these guys are not heroes. You know, that's an individual thing. You may not decide to jump on someone to save their life. What did the cops say when you asked them why they signed up? They signed up to help people. But yet the man who they caught on fire and is burning in front of them, they choose to turn and run out the door, even beating, let us out, let us out. I'm not laughing at Jason being red rummed. I'm laughing because it's so comical. What a joke. Cops in this, not all you cops, not all you. I'll give all of you an individual chance. You're not all pigs. I know that.
Shut the door behind them and let Jason burn.
To immediately respond to jump on top of, to help roll over the individual, that's a very individual decision, and it's not necessarily predicated by police procedure. The officers left what they thought was a very hazardous situation. They did respond at some point.
The Attorney General's office says releasing this video.
I'm sorry. I got to listen to this clown here one more time. You catch a man on fire and you cause him to ignite in flames. And his response is that it's not police procedure to save you. It's not police procedure for you to be a hero. He says it out loud.
Them and let Jason burn.
To immediately respond to jump on top of, to help roll over the individual, that's a very individual decision, and it's not necessarily predicated by police procedure. The officers left what they thought was a very hazardous situation. They did respond at some point.
The Attorney General's office says releasing this video is not an implication of guilt on either side, and the investigation is still ongoing. Reporting in Catskill, Michaela Singleton.
The investigation is ongoing. Jason's dead. Your investigation's ongoing. This man is dead. But don't call them pigs, okay? Don't call them pigs, because if you call them pigs, you're the bad guy. Remember that.
10 ABC.
Wow. And that was the end of that one. Holy snarling snake shit. No wonder why he wanted me. Did you know, for my editor, did you know that would fire me up? Did you know that? Because that definitely, oh, this is the same video. Forgive me. Forgive me. Wow. How you feeling? How you feeling? Watching a guy get burned. I can't believe the guy's uniforms turned pink. It was so bad. There was, okay, I got another one. I'm glad that my editor sent me a few of these videos because these are, woo! Put Team DLZ in the chat. Put it in the chat. Team DLZ. Put it in the chat. We don't stop. Okay, we don't stop.
First at 6, anytime Austin police are sued, your tax dollars are at stake. And in just the past week, lawsuits have cost taxpayers nearly $1.5 million.
First, the city council awarded the parents of Larry Jackson a $600,000 settlement. And as KXAN's Chris Sadeghi shows us,
it's not racist. He happens to be black, okay? It wasn't Austin, Texas. And these cops, this had nothing to do with race. Don't be a race baiter, okay? He just happens to be black. Cops would do it to any of us. Right?
A federal jury awarded another man nearly $900,000 for this encounter with Austin police.
Back in 2012, 51-year-old Pete Hernandez was walking next to this stolen black SUV at Walmart.
Grab that dude right there. Grab that dude.
Pete didn't steal it, but police still took him down.
He looked in the truck. We thought he was involved.
But he wasn't. And in the 4 years since, he and his attorney, Rob Ranko, say police showed little remorse.
There was no acknowledgement, no apology.
So wait a second. Hold on a minute. J-Dub Audits is in the chat, everybody. What's up, Playboy? So they had the wrong Enna? Is that what it is? They So some random black guy walks by and they go, grab that black guy. I swear to God, that's what you just saw. A random black guy walks by and the cops go, he's involved. But it's not racist.
Federal jury awarded another man nearly $900,000 for this encounter with Austin police.
And you notice he's on the ground. I know you can't see it because it's a small screen, but he's on the ground right here.
Back in 2012, 51-year-old Pete Hernandez was walking next to this stolen black SUV.
Did you see it? There's Pete Hernandez right there in the white T-shirt. All he did was walk by a car.
Next to this stolen black...
There he is. He's right there. There's Pete.
SUV at Walmart.
Grab that dude right there. Grab that dude.
Pete didn't steal it, but police still took him down.
He looked in the truck. We thought he was involved.
But
he looked in the truck. We thought he was involved. I'll tell you what. I seen him. I tell you what. I seen him, Cletus. That black man walked right by the truck, and he looked inside of it. Get him. What a fucking joke. Are you kidding me? He looked in the truck.
He wasn't. And in the 4 years since, he and his attorney, Rob Ranko, say police showed little remorse.
There was no acknowledgement, no apology, and not even an offer to pay the medical expenses.
Hernandez suffered injuries to his back and sued the city, hoping for money to pay medical bills. The city countered with a settlement offer.
That's him down on the ground getting torture cuffed and stomped by the cops.
Not even close. And we came into this, I think, with very reasonable desires and expectations. His medical expenses were $330,000. They never came close to that.
The case went to trial, where Ranko said the department tried to defend their actions by arguing Hernandez did not immediately comply to their order to get on the ground.
If you don't comply, every bootlicking, it's the law. It said this like this right here. You guys just saw the juror who wasn't a bad person, but she said, oh, the law said this. If you don't bow down and lick their boots, you're resisting arrest. The department argued that he didn't lay on the ground when we told him to. Hey, you lay on the ground. What's your response? No, I'm not laying on the ground. Why do I got to lay on the ground? I just walked out of Walmart. He just walked out of the car. And they said, grab him. And they tell him, you lay on the ground. He says, why?
Get on the ground. Turn around.
But Hernandez is walking away, defended their actions by arguing Hernandez did not immediately comply to their order to get on the ground.
Get on the ground. Get on the ground. Turn around.
But Hernandez is walking.
I'm not your boy. Okay? I'm a free American, a proud American. I have been on a wrestling mat since I was 7. So that you can't put me on the ground and hold me down without me entering into a wrestling match with you. And now I walk out of the store and you don't even got to take a double leg. You don't got to shoot a single. I just have to lay on the ground because you tell me to. 43 years of training, and now I just got to forget that me laying on my belly exposes my neck? I'm just going to forget that after 43 years of training? I'm going to give you the back of my neck? Everything in my brain says no. Can't. Lay flat on my belly with my arms out so you get clear access to my neck. It's just not inside of me. You can't talk me into it. That's not how I work. Is that how you work? Put a one in the chat if you don't want to give your neck to some guy screaming at you, get on the ground!
Walking away with $800,000 plus for this tackle.
The notion, that the jury seemed to agree with was, you have to give a guy a couple of seconds.
And now taxpayers are paying for a mistake Ranko says the city tried to avoid owning.
It would be...
Well, no, it was not a mistake. Let me stop you there. It was police brutality. That's what it was. Don't sit here and piss on me and tell me it's tropical rain. Don't tell me a mistake the city made. That's police brutality. Please call it as it is. Mainstream state-run media.
Refreshing if people could lose a little bit of their agenda. Common sense.
Taxpayers are paying for a mistake Ranko says the city tried to avoid owning.
It would be refreshing if people could lose a little bit of their agenda. Common sense in this scenario would be wonderful.
Chris Sadeghi, KXAN News.
We asked to speak with someone from the city's legal department about this type of case, but no one was available today. A city spokesperson did tell us any settlement or expense over $85,000 or $58,000, I should say, does require city council approval. The city does not just pay out for police-related actions. It also spends hundreds of thousands of dollars every year on mistakes.
We would love to compensate you fairly for the police brutality, and someone pointed out in the chat that that was a crime, not just police brutality, but there's no police brutality code. As your mayor, as your governor, when I get into office, I will create police brutality codes and statutes. I will create that it's a crime to shoot your dog, because cops should not be able to shoot our dogs. There has to be police brutality codes and statutes. There has to be. And that's why you want me to be your mayor. You may not even like me, but you know what I'll do? I'll change the policies and procedures of the cops from the top down. And believe me, you do want that.
I should say.
You'll back the blue till it happens to you.
It does require city council approval. The city does not just pay out for police-related actions. It also spends hundreds of thousands of dollars every year on mistakes made by city employees behind the wheel. In 2014, a KXAN investigation revealed Austin's legal department receives up to 800 property damage and personal injury claims every year. From 2009 to 2014, auto liability claims cost Austin $4.5 million. To try to limit these accidents, the city tracks employees driving mistakes by assessing points. But some say more.
Why do they make mistakes but we're criminals? Why is that? How is that a thing? How is it a mistake for them but you're a criminal? I just would like to know that. Can someone explain that to me? Police make mistakes, but we commit crimes. Melania, tower time! What's going on, Playboy?
What should be done to cut down on the number of collisions?
It's such crap. It's such crap. It really is. Let me tell you something. We're getting duped, people. We're absolutely getting duped. We're getting screwed. We're getting screwed over. Oh, you guys want to watch this? I'll watch it. All right. You guys want to watch something? You guys want to get into a little bit? Want to get into a little bit of dirtiness here? This was the most down and dirty police corruption, judicial corruption of all time. It really is. This is really nasty. So hold on to your hat.
Stop right there! Stop!
Do you see that? That's Daniel Shaver. And the cop is named Philip Brailsford.
Stop! Get on the ground, both of you! Lay down on the ground! Lay
Remember, the cops got a call, okay? The cops got a call on this, that there was possible domestic violence going on in this hotel room. Oh, we know.
Stop right there! Stop! Stop! Get on the ground, both of you! Lay down on the ground!
And they're talking to you like you're a dog. Speaking to you like you are a bad dog.
Lay down on the ground! Who else is in the room? Nobody. Nobody else is in the room? Nobody. Positive? Nobody. Absolutely positive. Okay. Since apparently we have a failure for you to comprehend simple instructions, I'm going to go over some of them again, okay? Can you both hear and understand me? Yes. All right. If you make a mistake, another mistake, there's a very severe possibility you're both going to get shot. Do you understand that? Yes. I do. Yes. All right. Shut up. I'm not here to be tactful or diplomatic with you. You listen, you obey.
Wow. If you guys don't know the story, Daniel Shaver was an unarmed man shot and killed in Mesa, Arizona by a cop named Philip Brailsford in January of 2016. After he was ordered out of his hotel room with another person, Shaver was on his knees crawling when he made a slight move and Brailsford ended his life. Later, Brailsford abruptly left the department and he got a lifetime pension. Obviously, for killing Philip Brailsford, for killing Daniel Shaver. But let's just,
If you make
I just want to listen to this one more time because it just makes me want to vomit. Who the does this guy think he is?
mistake, another comprehensible instruction. Nobody else is in the room? Nobody positive?
Nobody, absolutely positive.
Okay. Since apparently we have a failure for you to comprehend simple instructions, I'm going to go over some of them again, okay? Can you both hear and understand me?
Yes.
All right. If you make a mistake, another mistake, there's a very severe possibility you're both going to get shot. Do you understand that?
Yes.
I do.
Yes. All right.
What the?
This is, shut up. I'm not here to be tactful or diplomatic with you. You listen, you obey.
You listen and you obey.
One thing, did I tell you to move, young man? Did I tell you to put both your hands on the top of your head and interlace your fingers? Take your feet and cross your left foot over your right foot.
Remember, he's not under arrest. He's only being detained. This is because of Terry versus Ohio.
Who else is in the room?
Nobody.
All right, stand by, we have contact. All right. Are you both drunk?
No.
All right. So you're not going to have any problems understanding anything that I tell you, right?
Yes.
All right.
Can I go to my room?
No, you're not going to do anything but come towards us. Young man, you are not to move. You're to put your eyes down and look down at the carpet. You're to keep your fingers interlaced behind your head. You're to keep your feet crossed. If you move, we're going to consider that a threat, and we are going to deal with it, and you may not survive it. Do you understand me?
Yes, sir.
Young lady, shut up and listen. All right? You are to keep your feet crossed. Take both of your hands, put them flat in front of you. You are to push yourself up to a kneeling position. Kneeling position. Now, put both your hands in the air. Okay, crawl towards us.
I'm so sorry.
He's not under arrest. He's only being detained. Terry versus Ohio.
Okay. Stop. Okay. Cuff, grab the pole.
No, Rich, pull
Pull,
them this
Rich,
way.
pull. Let me know when you're clear. Clear? No, you're not clear. You haven't frisked her yet.
She said, "Why am I being arrested?" And he said, "You're not being arrested. You're only being detained." Detainment comes from Terry versus Ohio. Plinker for life. Chille, I got my trifolds in the mail. Thanks for doubling my order. I love them. Right on, man. You guys, make sure you get a trifold in your car. Make sure you have a trifold. Got to have a trifold in your car. You have to have one. Trust me. I'm not trying to sell them anymore. I'm doing other stuff right now, but you should have a trifold in your car.
Hey, when you're done with that, lay her flat. Okay, I need one more cover up. Okay. This is the deal. We're going to do almost like we did before. Okay?
Here's the deal. Put it in the chat. Here's the deal. Everybody put it in the chat. Jack, put it in the chat. He said it. Here's the deal. Even as he's going to off Daniel Shaver, he's still saying, here's the deal. You're welcome, Plinker for life. It's my pleasure. I'll double any order. Just let me know.
Okay, I need one more cover up. Okay. This is the deal. We're going to do almost like we did before. Okay? Okay, young man, listen to my instructions and do not make a mistake. You are to keep...
How much would you like to get a hold of Philip Brailsford? I mean, as a man, let's just say in a hypothetical world, if I could get Philip Brailsford in a room and lock the door, How many of you would love to get this son of a bitch? No cameras. Just lock me in a room with this guy. Let me show him. You, Philip Brailsford, you would never talk to me like this. I would wipe the floor with you, bud. Like, I would love to wipe the floor with this cop who murdered Daniel Shaver.
Okay, young man, listen to my instructions and do not make a mistake. You are to keep your legs crossed. Do you understand me? Yes, sir. You are to put both of your hands palms down, straight out in front of you. Push yourself up to a kneeling position. I said keep your legs crossed! I'm sorry. I didn't say this in conversation. Put your hands! Hands up in the air! You do that again, we're shooting you. Do you understand? Please do not shoot me. Then listen to my instructions. I'm trying to do what you don't talk! Listen! Hands straight up in the air. Do not put your hands down for any reason. You think you're going to fall, you better fall on your face. Your hands go back in the small of your back or down. We are going to shoot you. Do you understand me? Yes, sir. Crawl toward...
Do you want to puke? Put a 1 in the chat if you want to puke. Put a 1 in the chat if you want to puke right now. Listening to this dirty jackboot thug pig. You want to know the definition of a jackboot thug pig? It's Philip Brailsford. Every word he said, every single thing he just did, put it in the chat, JBTP. If you know, you know. Jackboot thug pig. I mean, this is so disgusting. This is so disgusting. Like, to listen to him, and Daniel Shaver is crying because he's not a tough guy. He's just a guy that's drunk.
You are to keep your legs crossed. Do you understand me? Yes, sir. You are to put both of your hands palms down, straight out in front of you. Push yourself up to a kneeling position. I said keep your legs crossed! I didn't say this in conversation. Put your hands! Hands up in the air! You do that again, we're shooting you. Do you understand? Please do not shoot me. Then listen to my instructions. I'm trying to do what you don't talk! Listen! Hands straight up in the air. Do not put your hands down for any reason. You think you're going to fall, you better fall on your face. Your hands go back in the small of your back or down. We are going to shoot you. Do you understand me? Yes, sir. Crawl towards me.
I mean, is that a pig? Is that a pig? Is it okay to call him a pig? That's a jackboot thug pig right there. Am I wrong? Tell me if I'm wrong. Now, they're not all pigs, right? People. He gets a lifetime pension for behaving this way. Along the side of Philip Brailsford's gun, it says you're fucked. That's what it says. That and the entire buildup, when truly Philip Brailsford never had any fear of Daniel Shaver. The guy's crying. He's literally crying, and he sounds like a Nazi. All right, I don't know what this video is going to show. It might show the whole thing. It might not.
Kneeling position.
We're going to see if he kills him right here.
Keep your legs crossed.
I'm going to shoot him right here. So I don't know if it's going to show it or not.
Conversation. Put your hands! Hands up in the air! You do that again, we're shooting you. Do you understand? Please do not shoot me. Then listen to my instructions. I'm trying to do what you don't talk! Listen! Hands straight up in the air. Do not put your hands down for any reason. You think you're going to fall, you better fall on your face. Your hands go back in the small of your back or down. We are going to shoot you. Do you understand me? Yes, sir. Crawl towards me. Crawl towards me! Yes, sir. Don't go! Get up on him. Okay, hold on him. One with me. Key card. Key card. Same 81998. Hold on. They gave me 2 key cards.
I just feel like there's no reason possibly that could be justified for
Me. Yes, sir. Crawl towards me. Crawl towards me.
Where would you find a threat? Daniel Welch, Wilderness Pig. Wilderness Pig is back in the chat with 50 gifted memberships. Thanks a lot, Wilderness Pig. Where is Daniel Shaver here? Where's the perceived threat? Because the 1989 case of Graham versus Connor says that police can use objective reasonableness, even considering the threat that the suspect could pose to officers and what the suspect had done prior to officers showing up on the scene. They often have to make split-second decisions, and we have to give a little bit to the officers. This is the holding. This is the actual words of the holding. We have to give officers the benefit of the doubt because they have to make split-second decisions. And they get to use objective reasonableness, the objectively reasonable amount of force for the threat that they're facing. This is the Supreme Court holding. But right here, it looks like to me, Daniel Shaver isn't a threat to anybody or anything.
Crawl towards me. Crawl towards me.
Look at him. He's crawling forward. If you've ever been in wrestling practice or jiu-jitsu or pankration or sambo or even karate or any sort of physical martial art, when someone is crawling, look at how weak Daniel Shaver looks. He looks weak. He looks weak and he looks pathetic. He looks drunk. With all the, get on your face, you will listen to me. Obviously, this cop went to the military, has some sort of military training, right? And then he just guns him down. Thanks, Daniel Welch. Thanks for the super chat, Daniel Welch. I appreciate it, man. Thank you for the super chat. God bless you. You guys hit the like button on the screen. Consider becoming a channel member. Consider becoming a channel member. Wilderness just gave out 50 free memberships. Is Dan Hanlon here?
Get up on him. Okay, hold on him. One with me.
Hold on him after he shot him at point blank range with an AR-15 with 4 shots right down the man's body from the top of his head out the bottom of his body. And you think now you got to check a room?
Key card. Key card. Same 81998. Hold on. They gave me 2 key cards.
I just feel like there's no reason possibly that could be justified for shooting him.
Devastated, but finally speaking out tonight, a woman whose husband was shot and killed by police at a Mesa hotel, demanding some answers. We've been following the investigation for exactly a week now at the La Quinta Inn off US 60. As ABC 15's Davida Fergani reports, that man's widow says there was absolutely no reason to shoot him.
I mean, he's really funny. He's really laid back.
Lainey Sweet is still talking about her husband as if he is still alive.
He's always the person to try to diffuse a situation, keep the peace.
She says her husband, Daniel Shaver, was staying at the La Quinta Inn in Mesa for work when police came knocking on his door, changing her life and the life of their 2 daughters forever.
So I keep saying, like, this is not my life. Like, this is not my life. I'm 24. My husband's gone. I've got 2 kids.
Mesa police say last Monday they were called out to the hotel after people in the pool reported seeing a man on the 5th floor pointing a rifle out the window.
Oh, that's
They're
what it was.
just really long guns.
Sweet says Shaver had pellet rifles with him for his pest control job, but police say when they went to Shaver's hotel room to investigate, he came out refusing to show his hands. Police say one of the officers...
That's a lie. That's a lie. I don't want to listen to the state-run media lies. I don't want to listen to the bullshit narrative. What I want to do instead is I want to listen to Daniel Shaver and listen to his testimony. This is Philip Brailsford's testimony after he murdered Daniel Shaver. Put it in the chat. We don't stop. We don't stop. We're not going to forget. This is the reason why you want me to be your mayor, want me to be your governor, because I will not be swayed. I will change the policies, procedures, and protocols of the cops from the top down. That's the only way change is made. You're seeing it with this administration. You're seeing it. Our cities have been militarized. You're seeing it. You're watching it happen.
You know, going back in time, as opposed to watching it on a television screen.
This is the.
It's completely different.
Now look at this little wuss. Look at this wussy. He was so tough, screaming, "Get on your belly, crawl." He was so tough when he murdered Daniel Shaver. When you see him now, he's just a little wussy.
Watching it on the television, we had the knowledge and safety of knowing that nothing's going to hurt you.
And what about emotionally watching it as opposed to living it?
It's completely different.
Now, I know you've watched it many times, but I'm going to direct some questions to you as to that night on it. Like, for example, that night when it happened, lessen the belief that you've been trained to believe that he was armed.
No.
Why is that?
I actually don't even recall paying attention to what he was wearing or anything of that nature, but it certainly didn't lessen the threat or concern level.
You guys just saw Daniel Shaver crawling on the ground, looking absolutely weak.
And have you been trained that weapons can be secreted without leaving a visible imprint outside of the clothing?
Certainly. They make many holsters that do exactly that.
What about pockets?
Pockets, yes.
Now, and what about, you've heard talk about it, and I don't want to be repetitious, but we've heard talk about the +1 rule.
Yes.
What was your understanding of that rule based on your training that night?
The rule of thumb is where we have one gun, is highly likely that we're going to find another or more.
What? The rule of thumb is that if they find one gun, there's going to be another gun. Wow. Wow. No, I'm talking about leadership. Your username is Fox. So, Fox, I'm talking about leadership. Leadership changes how things are run. And Trump has changed how things are run. Am I incorrect about that, sir?
And does also relate to searching?
Yes.
And what's that rule, +1 rule, relating to that?
It's the same thing. Where you find one weapon, you're highly likely to find another.
And is it also training, like, if you find a weapon, don't assume you found the weapon?
No. When searching, when you do find a weapon, you don't just stop and say, "Oh, okay, we have the weapon, we're done." You need to keep searching until you can, with absolution, say that it's clear.
Now, going back into time, since you knew there had been a weapon in play and people had felt threatened enough to call the police, in your mind, are you believing there are additional weapons?
Yes.
So listen to what he's saying, and that we're supposed to buy. That in his mind, he believes there's additional weapons. So you and I now are supposed to play this imaginary game that we played when we were 8 years old. Pretend that there's a store here and we're walking in the store. Now pretend that we agree that he has more guns. Okay, we agree. Yes, because you guys said the 1-in-1 rule means that there's more guns. If someone has one gun, the 1-in-1 rule means if they have one gun, they probably have another gun. So there, first and foremost, you have to agree what we think. That's the process they just took you down. That you have to agree the 1-in-1 rule is true. If you have one gun, then surely they have a second gun. And then you have to believe that that man is a danger to my life. You agree to that, right? He's a danger to me, right? What a psyop bullshit court is.
Shaver?
Yes.
Now, going back into time, as Mr. Shaver is coming, first we put sand on your back, did that resemble a draw stroke to you?
That motion didn't appear to be a draw stroke to me, no.
Was your concern more of a security check?
Yes,
But in any event, you made a decision not to discharge your weapon at him.
that's correct. In that split second moment, I decided not to fire.
And you
What a beta male, JBTP. Put it in the comment section, JBTP. Put it in the comment section.
had no animosity towards Mr. Shaver?
No, sir.
No desire to shoot Mr. Shaver?
No.
Oh, really? Didn't he say that I will come down on you and I will shoot you? But there's no animosity. He was screaming as though the person had beat up his mother.
Desire to harm Mr. Shaver?
No.
In fact, what was your desire regarding Mr. Shaver?
I simply wanted him to crawl forward, not place his hands behind his back, be taken into custody, and then the justice system could deal with him as necessary.
Put a 1 in the chat if you're not going to get a fair shake in the justice system. Put a 1 in the chat if you know for a fact you just got to comply on the side of the road and then you're going to get a fair shake in court. Put a 1 in the chat if you know that's bullshit. You're not going to get a fair shake in court. You absolutely are not going to get a fair shake in court. That's not going to happen. Remember, Joshua Grover hired Mary Coperon. Couporon. That's her last name. Mary Coperon, Utah defense lawyer. Look her up. She's the top 50 female lawyers in America. She lost.
Do you want him to do as Miss Portillo had done?
Exactly.
And Miss Portillo, no physical harm with weapons came to her.
No, sir. She followed instructions and was taken into custody without issue.
And was that
Yeah. You know, we got one of them and we didn't kill them. You see, 1 out of 2 ain't bad.
As to Mr. Shaver.
Yes.
Now, when he is out there, what is the position of your weapon?
When he's out in the hallway,
Yes.
it would be at.
She's talking to me.
It would be at a low ready.
And again, that's down.
Correct.
So you can see over it.
Right.
Did you have any trouble with a 5.5-foot hallway of visualizing the whole hallway?
No, sir. I could see everything in front of me. I could see the entire field of view.
And now, do you have to wear glasses?
No, I don't.
Do they help you?
They actually just make the picture more crisp for me.
All right. And did you wear them that night?
I did.
And they were the prescriptions that make your vision better?
Yes.
Yeah, they make his vision better. He couldn't see that Daniel Shaver was drunk and crawling forward like there could be no objectively reasonable thought in an intelligent, or at least any sort of guy who has any sort of training, that Daniel Shaver was a threat.
So you having no trouble visualizing the whole width of the hallway?
No.
To the end.
That's correct.
What's he talking about?
Now, so as Mr. Shaver is crawling to you, I'm going to show you what's been admitted as exhibit.
We just watched it. Hopefully they don't show it again. It's horrible to watch him murder him.
Exhibit 231. And
So they're saying that you can see his arm.
And this has been identified as the pre-trigger sequence, so before he was shot. And you see on the top thing when Mr. Shaver's on his hands and knees?
Yes.
And where's your finger?
High on the slide.
And is the gun safety still on?
Yes.
Now I'll show you, and this is about 6 seconds before the discharge of the weapon.
So the lawyer is painting this picture for the jury, for the judge, that, you know, Brailsford didn't plan on killing Daniel Shaver. His finger wasn't even on the trigger. It wasn't until Daniel put his hands down by his waistband. Then he quickly took the safety off and took immediate action because there was a perceived threat to his life. Because touching your pants means you're going for a gun, of course. It's such bullshit, it's unbelievable.
I'll show you the second one. which is about 5 seconds before the discharge of the weapon. Where is your finger at that point as he is crawling?
It's still in the same position, high on the slide.
All right. And again, the safety's on.
Yes, sir.
As you've been trained.
As I've been trained.
And I notice that it looks like the weapon slides a little bit, shifting to the right.
I mean, this makes me want to puke. They're showing intent here?
Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
And what was that?
So, it took approximately 0.3 of a second. My intent in that moment, because keep in mind, I still had 2 issues that I had to deal with. I had my immediate concern, Mr. Shaver, to my left, and then to my right, I still had the doorway, the unknown. We didn't know if someone was in that room. We didn't know if they had the weapon or whatnot.
I still had
those are the 2 areas of concern.
Forgive me. I still had the doorway over here, the unknown. And so officer safety, it was officer safety, Terry versus Ohio. Our safety comes first. And you guys should agree to that government agents' safety comes first. Put a 2 in the chat if you do not agree with that. Government agents' safety comes before yours. The most important thing, not your first, not your second, not your 4th or 5th Amendment, not your 14th, none of those. Officer safety is the most important thing. Government agent safety is the most important thing. We got to save government agents. Any threat to a government agent in any way, shape, or form means you could just be shot like Daniel Shaver.
That I had to focus on, and so my intent was to place my rifle in the middle ground between 2 levels of concern.
And now he's roughly 10 feet away in a 5.5 foot hallway.
Correct.
When you're moving your weapon, it looks like slightly to the right.
Yes.
Did you lose sight of Mr. Shaver?
No, sir.
Did you not see him 10 feet away in a 5.5 foot hallway?
I saw him very clearly. I shifted maybe a few degrees off of Mr. Shaver.
And then we've learned, and at this point, your finger is not inside the trigger guard, and this is about 1 second.
It is so fucking stupid to sit here and worry about whether his finger was in the trigger guard or not. So showing the jury that he didn't even have his finger in the trigger guard, so he wasn't planning on killing Shaver. He put his hands down by his pants, and that means government agent safety is in doubt. So Shaver had to die.
Before the shooting.
Correct.
The safety's still on.
Safety's still on.
No intent to shoot Mr. Shaver.
No, sir.
And he's literally saying because your finger wasn't on the trigger, you had no intent to shoot Daniel Shaver. Put a 1 in the chat if you've ever shot a gun before. Put a 2 in the chat if you understand how to shoot guns. Put a 3 in the chat if you understand it's so easy to click the safety off and shoot a bear, a moose, a caribou, or in this case, Daniel Shaver. I could have the intent in my mind the whole time and in less than 1 second take the safety off and shoot him. But hey, if he didn't have his finger on the trigger the whole time, then he had no intent to kill Daniel Shaver. Bill Rowe Birds is in the chat. What's up, Playboy?
And goal again?
Goal again is simply for him to crawl towards us, be taken into custody, unharmed, and we would proceed from there.
Chaps my ass, man.
Now I'm going to show you what's in evidence.
1, 2, 3 for me as well.
Exhibit 221.
1, 2, 3 for me as well. Thank you.
And
we don't stop, y'all. We don't stop. Fresh Toast, I see you, buddy.
The top photo.
Top rock.
Is roughly 3 seconds and about 3 seconds before the actual shooting.
Yes.
You see Mr. Shaver's position?
Yes.
You see your position of the weapon.
I do.
What position is the weapon in?
It's still in a low ready. It's more. It's a little bit higher up. I can still see over the scope so that I have more of a picture of what's going on between Mr. Shaver and the unknown doorway.
Okay. And then
Bill Roberts with 50 gifted memberships. What's up, Mr. Roberts? How are you, sir? Thank you very much. Everybody can say thank you to Mr. Bill Roberts if you got a membership. Thank you so much. Consider becoming a channel member yourself so you have the little delete Lawz icon next to your name, and I appreciate your support. Thank you, Bill.
We see a still. Now, let me ask you this. We're showing you stills.
Yes.
That are about approximately 1/30th
Alaska
of a
audits.
second.
Right.
When you're visualizing this, are you seeing
Beano?
stills?
No, sir.
What are you seeing?
I'm seeing everything in real time. This surpassed in a few moments.
You know, he escalated the whole thing. He was screaming like a psychopath the entire time. He was acting like he was God, and then he killed him. Oh, I was reacting to things in real time, says Hollywood, who got a membership. I was acting to things in real time, Oscar, the Burning Phoenix.
In 1/30th of a second.
Correct.
Now we see in the second one of Exhibit 221, and this is taken about 2/3 of a second before the gun's discharged.
Stomper.
I notice
They don't.
Mr. Shavers.
They're not showing us the
See
exhibit.
his right shoulder going up
Yes, sir.
and his left shoulder going down,
Yes.
and then
So the lawyer is sitting there showing the jury how his left shoulder's going down, right shoulder's going up. This must mean if my body does this or like this, that must mean I'm going for a gun. It must mean I'm trying to kill a cop. As I'm crying and dragging myself across the floor, Mikey B, Gary Bryant, Bill Roberts with 50 memberships, right? Each one of you. You guys would all agree the cop needed to kill Daniel Shaver, right? We all agree that cop needed to kill Daniel Shaver. And the jury agreed that Daniel Shaver needed to die because quite possibly Philip Brailsford was afraid for his own life.
we see your response in this split second of time. What's happening then?
Your response in this split second of time.
This is the moment where I begin to perceive the threat.
This is the moment I begin to perceive the threat. And your life can be ended right now because a cop says, I perceived a threat. Should I get a bigger shirt? I don't want him to see that I work out or I train. Should I always wear covers over my ears so they don't see the cauliflower ears? Because if you see a cauliflower ear, then the cop has to be afraid of me. And you should understand government agent safety first.
The motion of the arm sliding back, and the minute it disappears out of my view and the elbow begins to raise, that's the moment when I decide to fire.
All right. And how do you know that?
Based on my training,
the totality of circumstances.
the circumstances, the reason why I'm there in the first place. I'm there for a man with a gun. I haven't located a gun, and this is a man. So I have to presume he's armed based on my training. And then
Based on my training, I have to believe he's armed because someone called and said there was a man with a gun. He happened to have a pellet gun. They were shooting rodents, drunk, immature, irresponsible, all those things. But his training tells him that he has to believe that his life's in jeopardy.
I haven't located a gun, and
Now listen.
this is a man. So I have to presume he's armed based on my training.
I have to presume that he's armed based on my training. They're teaching cops that we're all armed and they should be afraid of all of us.
And then making that motion, which appeared to me as a classic draw stroke, the motion, if I may stand, moving directly to the side. Looked exactly like someone was drawing a pistol or some type of weapon.
And as you know, it's government agent safety first.
I perceived it in that moment.
And again, are you seeing still photos or is it a pattern of movement?
It's a pattern of movement.
And
I'm seeing real time. He's moving his arm. He could have been going for something. He woulda, coulda, shoulda, might have, possibly could be going for a gigantic gun, even though he's flailing around like a bitch. And I'm not cutting down Daniel Shaver. If that guy stepped on the mat and was going to wrestle me, I'd think that guy's a fish. Well, that's not true. You don't ever think your guy's a fish stick when you wrestle. But from the perceived physical presence that Daniel Shaver was showing me as someone who's been on a mat for 43 years, I would go, this guy's no threat to me.
Notice at this moment in time, your index finger begins to enter the trigger guard.
Yes, sir.
And what does that tell you?
Now, the defense counsel for this guy, for his trial, is saying, hey, his finger wasn't on a trigger. You call someone in wrestling who's not a good wrestler, you call them a fish stick. And there's not very many when you get to the higher levels.
Tell you
that I'm in the process of making the decision to fire.
Is the decision made before your finger goes, when your finger enters the trigger guard?
The decision to fire wasn't made until the hand was completely out of view and the elbow was raised.
All right. And so about 2/3 of a second before you fired, you've now entered the trigger guard.
Yes.
Now, this is taken, according to testimony, about a half second, actually 0.474 seconds, so 47 hundredths of a second before the gun is discharged. You see Mr. Shaver's elbow?
Yes, I do.
You see his head?
Yes, I do.
Now, was the fact that his head is not facing...
Ugh. Mullane, you just pointed it out. He made the decision from the start.
You lessen any threat?
Oh, BTC.
No, sir. And actually, based on my training...
Now, he always goes back to the same thing based on my training. But what do people say all the time? Cops just need more training. No, cops need new training. And make sure when you hear somebody say it, you correct them. Put it in the chat. Cops need new training. They need new policies, procedures, and protocols installed by leadership at the top that changes the tyrannical police state. BTC with a super chat. He got murdered for thought crime. Yeah, he did. BTC, I saw you gave a super chat earlier too. I didn't see it. I didn't recognize it, and I want to say thank you.
When we go through the academy and firearms training, it's drilled into our heads. Stop looking at your holster when drawing your weapon, because...
What? Hold on. I'm sorry. I want to listen to this in context.
Based on my training, when we go through the academy
Based on my training, when we go through firearms training.
It's drilled into our heads. Stop looking at your holster when drawing your weapon, because the common thing for an untrained individual to do is to look towards the area of the weapon that they're going to be reaching for.
Now, is all this being analyzed in your brain in this 1 second?
It was very fast.
What is he talking about? He has the AR-15 in his hands. He's already got it trained on Daniel Shaver. What's he talking about? Don't look at your holster.
Yeah, look where your finger is at that moment in time, direct proximity to the trigger.
Yes, sir.
What does that tell you when his elbow is there and your finger's in direct proximity to the trigger?
The decision to fire has been made, and at that point I'm proceeding to fire my weapon.
And
I mean, this is some sick shit. Put a one in the chat if this is sick. If this is sick. Mikey B. I love you, buddy.
So at that point, a half second before the weapon's fired, the brain has sent the decision to the hand, and the hand is implementing it.
Correct. So what's happening in that moment is I'm flipping the safety off, my fingers in, getting ready to pull the trigger. I'm bringing my rifle up to my right eye, closing my left eye so that I can have a clearer picture through my right eye as I'm looking through the aim point, the scope of the rifle.
Now let's talk about that. Did you close your left eye prior to the decision?
Did you close your left eye prior to taking the safety off and putting your finger on the trigger? Because if you didn't do these things, then you had no intention of killing Daniel Shaver.
Decision being made to shoot?
No, I closed the eye when the decision to shoot is made.
So what they're saying about closing your eyes, putting your finger on the trigger, this has no real relevance as to intent to kill another person. I've shot guns my entire life. Since I was this big, shotguns. Don't sit here and lie to me.
When you're in fact actually shooting.
When I'm in fact firing the weapon.
Now, we've broken this down frame by frame, hundredths of a second. In reality, it happens.
Almost in an instant. I believe I described it in my interview as in the blink of an eye.
Well, we know it happened in 1 second.
Yes.
In the blink of, yes, it was the blink of an eye. 1 second, yes. It all happened so quick, you know. He put his hands down by his pants. He looked pathetic and weak, but I thought just maybe my training teaches me that I have to presume he has a gun. And if he has one gun, my training teaches me that he has two. So both hands coming down, he was coming up like Yosemite Sam. Scum.
And,
Scum.
But prior to that 1 second, were you looking through the scope and
Scumbag.
closing your eye?
I mean, ooh. Do you feel it? Do you feel it? Are you on the verge of triggering? I'm on, what do they call it? A crash out? I'm on the verge of the crash out. This is such scum by the lawyer and by this pig. They're not all pigs, but this one's a pig.
And had Mr. Shaver not made the motion that you recognized as identical to a draw stroke under the circumstances of this case, would you have discharged your weapon?
No, sir.
And did you make the decision to discharge your weapon before his hand comes forward?
Correct.
And why was that?
I'm trained that I can't wait to see, in a situation like this, where it is a gun call, it is it's an emergency situation. This level of threat, we are trained that we cannot wait until the gun comes into view. For one, I can't see what's coming from the hand coming forward because it's a blur. It's happening so fast. And so in order to actually see the gun, I would have to wait till the hand is stopped. And at that point, several shots could have been fired. And due to the proximity of Mr. Shaver to us, and being in such a tight hallway with no cover, he could have very easily fired and hit any one of us.
Now, in that hallway, this 5.5 foot wide hallway, how many law enforcement officers are there?
6 of us total, and then we had just detained Ms. Portillo, so she would have been the 7th person.
So you had 7 people in front of Mr. Shaver.
Yes.
And had you waited until you see a weapon, you've been trained it could get 1 or 2 or 3 shots off before you could fire.
Exactly, and at that point, I'm responsible for 7 other lives.
And who are 10 feet away.
Yes.
With no cover.
Correct.
Now, it appears here that at least the decision to fire was being implemented about at this last frame here, 4.47 hundredths of a second.
Yes.
And that's because
You notice how they keep going back to, I had to make a split-second decision. It happened in less than 1 second. I had to kill him. It's government agent safety first. Don't call it officer safety anymore. Call it what it is. Government safety first. Government agent safety first. That's what it is. Put it in the chat. Government agent safety first. And the jury, the judge, the prosecutor, everybody, half the people in this room have decided that government agent safety is first, right? Government agent safety first. Put it like that from now on. That changes the entire complexity of it, doesn't it?
Finger was essentially on the trigger.
Yes, sir.
Oh, and if his finger was on the trigger or not, and how soon he looked through one eye, that is all relevant to whether or not he had intent to be a jackboot thug pig and kill Daniel Shaver.
Did you lose sight of Mr. Shaver at any time in this hallway?
No, sir.
Now, at the moment you were actually firing the gun, what was your vision of Mr. Shaver?
It would have been through my aim point.
Right. Which is a circle.
The circle.
Show the jury with your hands how the weapon was when you discharged the weapon.
It would have been, the butt of the rifle would have been on my shoulder. My hand would have been on, on the rail where the trigger is. Left hand up on the barrel. And my cheek would have been resting against the buttstock of the rifle so that I could peer through the sight of the aim point.
And that only happened after the decision to fire is made?
Yes, sir.
Now, at the moment when the decision to fire is made, did you believe that there was an imminent threat of serious injury or death to yourself and others?
Absolutely.
Oh my God. Oh my God. At the time that you shot a guy crying and slogging along the ground like Daniel Shaver was, did you feel like there was an imminent threat? Yes. The defense counsel led the witness and gave him what he's supposed to say out loud on the stand. Listen.
Did you believe?
Listen.
At the moment when the decision to fire is made, did you believe that there was an imminent threat of serious injury or death to yourself and others?
Absolutely. I thought he was reaching for a gun, and I thought someone was going to get shot.
Would you?
Yeah, you are going to kill him. Someone is going to get shot. It's going to be you, you geek. It's going to be you. And look at what a beta this guy is. He's just such a pansy. He's just such a pansy.
You fired your weapon if you did not believe that to be the case?
No, sir.
Did you also, at the moment the decision to shoot was made, as indicated in that frame, believe that you were going to be taking Mr. Shaver into custody and turned over to detectives for the firearms incident at the window?
My hope was that no lethal force was going to be necessary, that Mr. Shaver wouldn't reach behind his back, and that he would be taken into custody, and detectives would pursue the investigation at that point.
Was it your belief at the moment that you made the decision to fire the weapon at Mr. Shaver that it was immediately necessary to protect against his use or attempted use of bringing a weapon out?
Yes, sir. I had a split second, and in that moment when I saw that motion, I had to make a decision right then and there.
No slow motion videos?
No, sir.
What just an absolute load of crap. What a load of crap. I had to make you saw how Daniel Shaver was crawling along the ground as he was crying. And then he's going to reach back and grab his 2 Glocks. Because if he has 1 gun, then he has 2. That's his training. That's the training they give them. That the person always has a gun. That the person you're got a call on has a gun. And that if he has 1 gun, he has 2 guns. That's the training.
And did you have a belief at the time you fired the weapon that your action was necessary to prevent the commission of the potential aggravated assault with a weapon.
It was absolutely necessary in that moment.
Government agent safety first.
And did you, at that moment the decision's made, believe that Mr. Shaver posed an immediate threat of serious injury or death to yourself and others?
I wouldn't have fired my weapon if I didn't think so.
Wow. Incredible. Incredible.
And do you believe that the discharge of your weapon under those totality of circumstances against Mr. Shaver that evening was consistent with your training that you received at the Mesa Police Academy?
I followed my training exactly how I was trained, and I believe that.
By Officer and Training Instructor Jacobs?
Yes.
Now,
So you're hearing it, folks. This is how they're trained. They're trained to believe that we are all armed and that if we have one gun, we have two. And that's the training. And you wonder why cops are killing thousands of people every year. You wonder why that's happening. Look at the training.
when you fired your weapon, how many times did you fire?
4.
I fired until I determined that there was no longer a threat.
And how do you determine that?
There's several ways you can determine that, but for me it was...
For you, you blew his head off. Well, how did I determine it? I blew his head off. I shot 4 bullets down the length of his body from the top down. I'm pretty sure that the bullets went through his head. They went through his body, maybe hit his heart or his lungs. So I was pretty sure that I killed him there. Perceived threat over. Man dead with kids and a wife in his 20s.
It was when I saw Mr. Shaver fall over, I saw that there was no longer a threat.
It turns out
I saw that I had murdered him properly.
now that we know you fired for about 0.8 of a second.
Yes.
And 5 times.
Yes.
Oh, was it 5? I only counted 4. So 5 bullets down the length of his body from the top of his head down to his feet. Perfect.
Quick shots.
They were extremely fast.
And did you stop firing when you perceived that the threat was over?
It's true, Roxy.
What was your feelings at that point?
What were your feelings?
I was in shock. I couldn't believe that that happened, that I had just been in a shooting. It was scary.
Did you fear for your own safety during this shooting?
I was terrified and I was scared for everyone else.
Did you overreact?
No, sir.
Did you feel like you overreacted?
No, I did not.
Now later...
Did you overreact? No, I did not. I killed an unarmed man who was blithering, crying, drunk on the ground, but I did not overreact. My training and experience tells me that I need to kill anybody because it's government agent safety first.
You know it was determined that he did not, in fact, have a weapon.
That's correct.
When did you find that out?
The next day, after the investigation, after the interview.
So when the interview occurred, you had not been told that he'd been unarmed.
No.
I guess he hadn't been searched at that point.
No, he hadn't been searched at that point.
When did you find out that he had consumed copious amounts of alcohol?
Quite some time after. It wouldn't have been until after the autopsy report had returned.
Did you have indication in your mind that he was intoxicated that night?
That didn't even cross my mind.
What about the claim now that he was actually reaching for his shorts? Did that go through your mind at those moments?
No, sir.
Were you paying attention to shorts or?
No.
What were you paying attention to?
My focus was on Mr. Shaver's hands.
And
I was looking at his hands, and he was pathetically crawling, and I saw how pathetically he was crawling, and then I thought he must be going for a weapon next.
had Mr. Shaver been advised not to put his hands out of sight for any reason seconds before the shooting occurred?
Yes, sir.
And did you hear those instructions?
I did.
Now, there was an exchange between Officer Langley after he did it where Mr. Shaver was warned at least
After he did it?
twice not to do this or he'd be shot. and he then followed that up by saying, "Don't shoot me."
Yes.
And then Officer Langley gave the warning again.
There were no, didn't give the warning. Told them that they were going to shoot him.
For unknown reasons, he chose to do what we've seen on the video.
That's correct.
Did you notice? I'm talking about that night. That exchange, or what were you
Right,
taking away
Charmaine?
in the moment of that exchange, or were you, if anything?
In the moment, I didn't really perceive the dialogue between the two. My main focus was on Mr. Shaver's actions and his hands.
Did you know that he had been warned what not to do with his hands?
I did know that what he had been warned.
Did you notice that that in response to the warning, he said, "Don't shoot me"?
Yes.
Do you remember hearing it that night?
I didn't remember hearing it that night, but upon reviewing the video hundreds of times, I've been able, yes, that's...
And what about that he was upset and apparently crying in those seconds before the discharge of the weapon? Did that enter your mind that night as you were on lethal coverage in that few seconds?
No, that didn't enter my mind, and we're trained that we're not necessarily...
We're trained. It's always about training.
Pay attention to what a suspect is saying, and we're supposed to watch their actions and what they do with their hands.
And as they say, actions speak louder than words.
Exactly.
Now,
The lawyer's saying it, and he's saying yes, and that goes into the jury's heads.
after this occurs,
Such a scam.
what happens?
After which moment, sir?
The discharge of the weapon.
No. Say it properly. After he murdered Daniel Shaver. After he even kind of goes, after it happened, right? Maddie's triggered.
After this occurs,
I don't blame you, Maddie.
what happens?
After which moment, sir?
The discharge of the
After
weapon.
the murder.
After the discharge of the weapon.
After the murder.
I remember being in what I felt to be some form of shock.
What do you mean by that?
It was more of being involved in such a stressful situation as that. I didn't expect it to happen. I didn't want it to happen, but it did. And so in that moment, immediately after I had discharged my weapon, I had begun my controlled breathing techniques again in order to bring my heart rate down again.
I'm okay. I would like to see him doing his breathing techniques, because I do this Wim Hof daily breathing exercise. I don't do it all the time. I do it sometimes. But when I did do it, I just want to know what his breathing techniques are. He had to do his breathing techniques after he murdered somebody.
Immediately after I had discharged my weapon, I had begun my controlled breathing techniques again in order to...
My controlled breathing techniques. I had to bring my heart rate down because it's about government agent safety.
From there, we proceeded to the next threat area, which was room 502, because we still had a job to do at that point.
Because you was uncertain who, if anyone, was in the room?
Correct.
And then what happened?
From there, Sergeant Langley told me to secure my weapon and to head downstairs.
And did you do that?
I did.
What are you feeling at that point?
Still in disbelief and shock. I couldn't believe what had happened. It just happened.
Let me answer for him. Honestly, if we could get the little subconscious out of his head, I'd always wanted to kill somebody. I put "you're fucked" down the side of the AR-15. I had it engraved into the side of the AR-15. I wanted to kill people. That's why I signed up to be a cop, because I couldn't wait to kill somebody. And this moron who was drunk and crying and blithering, when he put his hands down by his waistband, and I knew I was in a hallway and I could prove that his hands went down by his waist, even though I knew he was no threat, I blew that guy's head off. How I was feeling? Pretty satisfied. I knew I'd wanted to kill somebody, and now I finally got to. Yeah, that's what he was. That's the truth. Put a 1 in the chat if that's his truth. This little dork had wanted to kill somebody. You could hear by the way he was screaming, right, Bill Rowe Birds? You could hear how he was screaming at Daniel Shaver. He couldn't wait to kill somebody. He couldn't wait to shoot somebody. He couldn't wait. Put a 1 in the chat if you agree with that. Psycho.
What happened after that?
I went down outside. I then waited for Sergeant Lean to come pick me up, and he drove me to the.
He begged for his life.
And was then eventually your weapon turned in?
Yes.
BS Unleashed. Wilderness Pig.
Agree to do what's been called as a walkthrough?
I did.
Raw Weber.
Once this happened, did you have any conversations with any of the other officers who had witnessed this or been on the scene?
No, sir. That's why Sergeant Lean came and picked me up. It's essentially a quarantine, or to that effect.
From the other officers?
From the other officers there, yes.
And then did, at some point, did Detective Sipe show up and conduct an interview that was read to the jury?
Correct. I was brought back to the La Quinta where Detective Sipe was.
How were you feeling at that moment?
It's almost done, Zing. We're gonna go to a different video. We got like 3 minutes left of this video, Zing. This is terrible to watch. Everybody, good to see Zing. Thanks, Zing Abu. Thanks for coming by, Zing. I hope you're not leaving.
Still as I was before, I had just barely been involved in a shooting where I shot someone.
What were you mentally like then?
I was still in shock, but I tried to compose myself as calm and collected in order to give as best focus as I can to Detective Sipe during the interview.
And
Fucking liar.
Did you?
I did the best I could.
Did you have an opportunity to look at the video before the interview with Detective Sipe?
I had the opportunity to review my video.
I had the opportunity to watch my first kill as a cop. I thought I was going to get away with it. I thought it was all going to go good. He retired, then came back to be a pig for a little longer, but then retired again. Poor Philip murdered somebody in cold blood. I feel so bad for his mental state. I feel so terrible for him.
A small cell phone. The video was very choppy. I had the opportunity to review my video on a small cell phone. The video was very choppy.
And then you sat down for the
Review
video?
my video.
No, at that point we would have begun the walkthrough, so we would have walked through the scene as I was interviewed.
And you showed them, to the best of your memory, what occurred?
Yes.
And this is
Just giving him the answer.
a few hours after the incident.
Yes, sir.
The recording indicates 2:21 in the morning.
Yes.
On it.
For the glory of Christ.
At that point, did the union provide you a lawyer to talk to?
They did.
Standard practice in an officer-involved shooting?
Yeah, that's completely normal practice.
Not necessarily me or
No.
a lawyer that does these things.
You guys read Wilderness Pig's comment? With each trigger pull, the 5 times he shot Daniel Shaver. With each trigger pull, he got back at his parents, the girls who rejected him, the bullies, where he was humiliated. Now he's become a man. Spot on, Wilderness Pig. Spot on.
Right.
And who was present to question you?
Detective Sipe, as well as several other detectives.
Spot on, dude.
And was there a representative of the prosecutor's office there?
Yes.
And did they ask you a wide variety of questions?
They did.
Any?
The cops investigated him. He's already been investigated. You were already investigated by your supervisor, by your partner, by your best friend, by the guy who trained you. You were already investigated by those people, right? Yes. Okay, cool. They said you were good, right? Good to go.
Any limitation on their questions?
No.
you decided, although you had the right not to answer questions, to sit down and answer any questions they asked.
Right.
And
He answered all the questions, okay? He was interrogated by police after the shooting. He said he felt really bad. He had to do his breathing exercises. His finger wasn't even on the trigger before he decided to murder. It wasn't like he was thinking about murdering. It was he murdered when he had to murder.
did they control the questions in terms of what information they were soliciting, and you provided the answers?
Right.
That's how it went, yes.
And they all asked all the questions they had at that moment.
At that moment, yes.
Was there any follow-up interview?
You were right,
with
Melania.
By detective site with additional questions the next day or 2 days or 3 days later?
No, after this interview, that was it, and I wasn't contacted again after that.
Okay. Did you go home that evening?
I did.
What time?
He went home and went to his own bed. Put a 1 in the chat if you shot somebody 5 times if you're not sleeping in your bed that night. If any of us shot somebody 5 times who was on their hands and knees begging and crying, and it's on video that they were on their hands and knees begging and crying, but they went for their waistband, so we shot them 5 times. Put a 1 in the chat if you would not go home and go to your bed. He put his hands down by his waistband, so I shot him 5 times. Handcuffs, murder 1.
And did you go home?
I think it wasn't until around 4 in the morning.
I was up until 4 o'clock in the morning for this, okay?
5 in the morning.
What are you feeling at that point?
I feel really bad.
Nothing's changed at that point. I'm still in disbelief, shock of what had happened.
Did you sleep?
No, I didn't.
I didn't even sleep after I murdered him. I didn't get any sleep, you know? The adrenaline. Everybody welcome Dave. Davey? Davey, is that how you say that? Davu? 225. Everybody welcome Dave. Thanks for becoming a member. I appreciate it.
I didn't sleep for the first 72 hours.
What were your thoughts
I didn't sleep for 3 days. Okay, sure thing.
regarding what occurred to Mr. Shaver?
What occurred to Mr. Shaver? They keep skipping that you killed a man who was unarmed, begging and crying and weeping.
Terribly sad for him. I assumed that he had a family, and then upon receiving the knowledge that he was unarmed, it just brought things into a further disbelief and understanding. I still can understand why you would make that motion.
You know, to piggyback on Wilderness Pig, you know, what he's really thinking and saying is, I really hope that he had been armed, because then it would have come down that I killed a guy who was pulling a gun on me in a split second, and I would have gone down like a hero. But because he had no gun, you know, I didn't think I'd lose my job or anything. I didn't think I'd be charged with manslaughter or murder. I didn't think that. It's just, he's such a fraud.
Wish this had never occurred?
Absolutely.
I wish this had never occurred. Let me see. I have anything else I can lead him on? Anything else I can tell him the answer before I say the question? That's all I have, Your Honor. What a scumbag. I got to do one more video. You guys want to stick around for one more? Put a 1 in the chat. One more. Let's get one more because I got to do this video. This is a video from Lackluster. Lackluster actually created this video. So this is a dirty cop right here. I mean, I'll give a final thought here on Daniel Brailsford. Let me just get this video right here set. There it is. I mean, it's just disgusting that cops get to murder people and that the primary focus of the courts and the entire system is based on Terry versus Ohio. That officer safety is first. Remember the 4 things that Terry does. It creates officer safety over all of our rights, creates reasonable articulable suspicion, creates a pat down, which is a POW style of arrest, and creates detainment, which is torture cuffs. Those are the 4 things that Terry versus Ohio does. The first one being officer safety, government agent safety over all of our rights, no matter what. Cop safety's first, and we all have to consider that first. And that's what the courts do. And that's what you do. And it's not true. It's not true. It should be citizen safety first. This is only a 2-minute video. I got this from Lackluster's channel. So let's check this bad chicken out.
Yeah. Oh, shit. You push back at me again, I will throw you on the ground. This is your right, you know? Relax. Shit. But you know what? Relax. Stop. No. I'm not
So I'm not sure if you caught that or not, but what he did right there is as the man is cuffed, he tripped him over his own leg and smashes the man's face first into the ground. I think he hits his chin, breaks his face. I think he breaks his back. I can't remember all the details here. I saw this the other day.
Relax. Stop.
Ready? Now, because he gives ever so slight resistance to being manhandled and tossed around, he gives a little bit of, hey, I don't want to deal with that. The cop trips him over his own leg, straight down on his own face. Boom. And now you're not going to hear anything because he's unconscious and severely injured.
Get him up. Get him up.
Get him up? You're not going to get him up. He's never getting up again.
Nope.
No. He's never getting up again. He won't ever get up again.
The officers stand around confused for several seconds as Khaled lay motionless and bleeding, unsure how to say over the radio that they needed an ambulance because an officer lost control of himself and inflicted major traumatic injuries to the victim.
Goes to call. Because the person was under the influence or alcohol or drugs is why the injury occurred, is what she just called in.
Started becoming combative, functions put him to the ground.
Sergeant finally arrives on scene. The video ends. From being slammed on his face while handcuffed, Khaled was knocked unconscious. He woke up in the hospital several days later, suffering from a broken elbow and multiple injuries to his hands, shoulder, face, and head. Since the incident, he has struggled with balance issues, memory loss, and permanent loss of function in both arms. 3 months later, he filed a claim with the city, but his claim was never answered.
I apologize. I made a mistake. I thought this was the one where the guy was paralyzed. Forgive me. I can't keep my police brutality videos straight. I thought this guy got paralyzed. No. I was wrong. It only broke his face, broke his bones, put him in the hospital for weeks. Had to deal with months of recovery. I'm sorry. These are not the droids we're looking for. I was looking for other victims of police brutality. Somehow I got my files messed up. I thought this was the guy who got paralyzed. I guess that was a different guy that police paralyzed. I apologize. Chevy's in the chat. Fred Wagner's in the chat. East Carbon Exposed. Did you get my voicemail? I called you East Carbon Exposed. Gary Bryant, Maddie, Wilderness Pig, Roxy Carmichael, Woozy One, for the glory of Christ is in the chat. Everybody, good to see you, my friend. Rebecca, Mikey B, I hope you come back. I miss you, buddy. I love you, man. Moderators, BS Unleashed, Greg, Bruce, Mikey, all you guys, I love you. Chevy, love you. Chevy, get a song and I'll play it. We'll do the next one, Chevy. Let's do a song tomorrow when we do a live stream. I'll be back tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Meet me here again tomorrow morning. Can you guys get your names in the chat? Hell Tantrum Bull, What's the Matter You, Bill Rowe Birds. Can you guys get your name in the chat for me for a minute? Would you please do that for me? Please put your name in the chat if you would, pretty please, so I can call you out. Just want to say hello and thank you to a few friends. Roxy Carmichael has become a member of Team DLZ. Everybody welcome Roxy Carmichael. Roxy, you always were a member of Team DLZ. You will always be a member of Team DLZ, Roxy Carmichael. Anytime, Wilderness Pig. Thanks for the memberships. Chevy! Let's get a song for tomorrow or the next day, Chevy. BS Unleashed, Butch the Original Rico. What's the matter, you? Listen, you guys, thank you so much for coming to my live stream. I know you have a lot of things you could do with your time. Thank you for spending your time with me here. Make sure you guys hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Let's get to 1 million subscribers. Consider becoming a channel member. I really appreciate all y'all's support. Absolutely love and respect you guys. Thank you. And listen, they're not all pigs. It's the policy, procedure, and protocol that good men agree to do that makes them a pig. But there are some very good police officers, right? All right, I got to get the flock out of here. Rosemary Hope. Bill Robird's got his name in the chat. Willie Nelson got his name in the chat. Paul got his name in the chat. Thank you so much for coming. Chevy! You guys have no idea. I love this guy, Chevy. You guys don't know, and you may never know. I'll see you on the next one. Later, Gators. Good stream, man. Good stream.